let me begin by congratulating each of you on your reelection. The fact that all three of you were so easily reelected shows the appreciation the people in this community have for each of you and what you do. Each of you represents almost 150,000 people. And those people collectively make up not just this county, but a vibrant community that y'all are the great leaders of. So thank you for that. So, Commissioner Ludgood, we're going to get back to you about your district, but you're the president of the County Commission for the first 16 months of this term. So I'd kind of like to ask you to just give us a big picture look for Mobile County as a whole, where we're seeing things going, et cetera.
So, well, first, we would, as a county commission, would like to thank the voters for the trust that they've shown in us, and we're particularly excited about the relationship that we have with the other elected officials in the county, and we thank them for their support. As we move into a new year, we're looking at our budget. And one of the things that we've been concerned about is attracting and retaining our employees. We're in a very competitive environment, and we can't pay what some other industries might be able to pay, but we try to provide the best benefit package we have. And we want to retain our employees, and then we want to make sure that they have the equipment they need to be able to do their job. So maintaining, having the proper equipment, being able to update it, maintaining our facilities, all of that is a part of what we do. And then on top of that, we also have, in our budget, we fund the other offices of elected officials. And so we've been seeing a steady, about 9% increase in our budget, which allows us to try to keep pace with that. If anybody who's paying attention knows that everything costs more for us, for government, just like it does in our individual homes. But we've been very fortunate in our county to have had increases that have allowed us to keep pace. So we are particularly pleased about the pay-as-you-go. That was our 20th program. It was adopted as it always has been, and we're so thankful for that. And over the 20 years of programs that we've had, we've been able to invest more than $1 billion in infrastructure in our communities. And it's not just, some people think the pay-as-you-go is only in the county, outside the cities, but we work in partnership with all 11 municipalities to try to make sure that all infrastructure in Mobile County is being maintained at the best rate we can.
Well, thanks. When you look at the infrastructure of the county, you can tell that y'all have made those investments. I mean, you can see it. And when you drive around, you understand what it means to the quality of our lives. We can move around so much better than we used to, safer. So we appreciate those investments. But Commissioner Hudson, I want to turn to you because one of your interests has always been what we're providing in terms of mental health services. So give us an update on where we are in mental health services in Mobile County.
Well, first of all, good morning, and good morning to everyone here today. Thank you for joining us. To your question, mental health services are, as most people realize at this point, have been very inadequate, not only locally, but throughout the state. And so we, as a commission, focused a lot of attention, particularly through our American Rescue Plan Act funds, to be able to make some improvements that would help and provide better access to our citizens. And I'm very proud of the work that we've done. Of the $80 million that was allocated through federal grants to the Treasury Department and ARPA to Mobile County, nearly $12.5 million of that has been allocated for mental health services. We invested $6 million with a partnership with AltaPoint to provide voluntary inpatient beds, psychiatric beds here in Mobile County. Until that point in time, Mobile County had no voluntary beds for adults between geriatric and juvenile ages. And so adults had to go out of state and out of county to be able to get services. So we were very proud to be able to support that. We have allocated $3.8 million to Veterans Recovery Service and for their detox and psychiatric inpatient care. We're very pleased that we were able to do that. I think that's providing a lot of service to our first responders, our veterans, active duty servicemen and of course their families as well. And we also led the effort to invest money in starting a mental health court, because we have so many people that are congesting our jail and in our community that have mental health problems, and they're not getting the treatment that they need. But when they commit nonviolent crimes, they have an opportunity now to come before the mental health court and get help, the treatment that they need sooner, and also not be incarcerated, or at least reduce their incarceration times. In fact, this first year, which the mental health court has been operating, there's been a savings to the county of about $350,000 in jail stays and psychiatric treatment services. So it's been, and I'm hearing from the judges, it's very successful. It was very collaborative. We had everybody on board. It's hard to get everybody in agreement on things, but this time we did. We had the judges were in agreement, the sheriff, the DA, the public defender, community corrections, all to point, all of our partners. So we were proud to do that. And also another $1.6 million to two other partnerships, and one with Lifeline Counseling Services and Franklin Primary Health Care. So I think we've made big strides.
It's great news. So another one of your big interests has been the Sportsplex, and we're so pleased that you had a groundbreaking on the new Aquatic Center. Why don't you bring us up to speed with all of that?
They know they're not going to get away from here without talking about that. Oh yes, it's exciting. We have so much work going on right now. The September 6th is the day I'll always remember. That was our groundbreaking for the first phase on the Aquatic Center. We had a couple of hundred people, devoted supporters there, along with Mobile's own Paige Madden, who is of course our Olympic swimmer and bronze and silver winner, medalist. And so it was an exciting day. They broke ground, and they're been busy, very busy working on that. 14% of the construction work is complete. They're building the 50-meter outdoor pool with dive wells and an indoor warm-up instructional pool with lockers, restrooms, and so forth, and of course parking. And they're moving along to the point they expect to have that done by the spring of next year. And it's just very exciting to see this happening. The second phase, which will include the short course indoor pool, which is 25-yard by 25-meter, and the build-out of the aquatic building itself, it's being planned, but it's not funded yet. We expect that to cost between $8 and $10 million. So.
Well, that was an exciting day to have Paige out there with us. That was a surprise to me. I don't know about you. But to have one of our own who's an Olympic gold medalist, to be there with us, that was just terrific. Now, one of your other passions is to make sure that the people in the western part of the county have access to quality outdoor activities. Where are we on that?
But I did want to mention, too, the soccer complex. We got a lot of construction going on there. We've got 4 more fields being constructed right now that we anticipate will be finished in the spring of this year, and that will give us a total of 7 playable fields. And that's good news to the people who are sharing the 3 that are currently in operation, because they are booked completely all the time. In fact, we had some electronic monitoring done throughout the year last year, and we had 53,000 visits to the Sportsplex. So that just goes to show you how much that is needed. And adding to that will only increase, the ability for people to be able to come out and recreate and enjoy those amenities that we have. So, but we will continue on that until we are finished. The championship field will be in the last phase, and the final 2 other fields. So we'll end up with 10.
Excellent.
But to your question about West Mobile County, we have a couple of big projects, construction projects going on out there. We have the Escatapa Hollow Park and Campground. When we originally purchased that property, it was 45 acres. It is now 230 acres with additional purchases and to add more amenities, which includes water access. We've opened the day use area. That opened actually in 2022. And that added the barbecue grills and the pavilions on the waterfront, the restrooms. We've also added a 32-pad RV campground area. We have new playground and walking trails. And right now, the second part of the first phase is renovating the log cabin at the entryway. And that will, we expect that to be done probably by fall of this year. And it'll house the cafe and grill. It'll be a general store. And we also have an interpretive education center that highlights the Blackwater River system and the local flora and fauna. And it's sort of a quasi, welcome center because it's really the first stop when you come from Mississippi, from that direction into Alabama. So a lot of exciting things. I'll mention too the Sims Senior Center expansion on the walking trail. I got my Sims folks here today. Welcome y'all and thank you for everything that you do. Love you guys. They've been great partners in the Sims Senior Center. They manage and operate that for us. And we have added another 1.5 miles on the walking trail. The first phase was about 1 mile, and it was so popular. Everybody loved that. So we added another 1.5 miles, and we've also added pickleball and shuffleboard to that along the trail and additional outdoor fitness equipment. So, this is the name of the game, having access to these sort of recreational amenities. People get outdoors and have recreation and improve their health. And so we're pleased to be able to provide these types of access services to citizens to enjoy. It improves quality of life.
Well, quality of life is key to the business community. It's how we attract new businesses here. It's how we attract people and talent here. So we appreciate what you've done in your district, what you're doing countywide. Commissioner Dueitt, you've got some projects that are getting near to being completed, some restoration projects, some outdoor access projects. Tell us about those.
Yeah, good morning, Bradley, and thank you guys for hosting this, and thanks everyone for being here. If I could take just 1 second, I'd like for our team of folks in the county to stand up real quick and acknowledge them, and just so you'll see a few of the people here. So
there's a lot of people.
It is, and this is just a very small portion of the people that help all three of us get all of these things done that we talk about today. We have hundreds more out today working on dirt roads and filling potholes. That's what we do. So, but also, before I get started on my projects, I want to acknowledge 3 or 4 small, really large businesses, but I want to first start with the South Alabama Logistics Park and how important it was for the county to partner with Philip Byrne and the Byrne Group there. Right now, within 3 years, they've completed 3 buildings, over 500,000 square foot of warehouse spacing and logistic parks, and also over 300 jobs in less than 3 years. And I also want to acknowledge we have 3 major shipyards in my district, and we have the Steiners, who are one of the oldest shipyards in the state of Alabama. We also have the Rice family, who owns Master Marine, and we also have a brand new shipyard in the Bayou that's going to create over 600 jobs, and was just awarded a $1 billion contract from the Coast Guard. So those are big industries down in South Mobile County that really doesn't get a lot of acknowledgement that they deserve. And so with that, I want to move on to, we'll start down at Cedar Point Pier. There's about a 3.5 mile section there if you start at Cedar Point Pier at the foot of Dauphin Island Bridge. And also I want to thank Mayor Collier for being here this morning, the mayor of Dauphin Island. Mayor Barnes from the Bayou could not be here today, but thank you, Mayor, for being here. But if you start there, I kind of like to call this the gateway to Dauphin Island, and they call themselves the Sunset Capital of Alabama. So I like to say that we're the gateway to that sunset. So if you start there at Cedar Point Pier, the county acquired that pier back in 2022, and we've spent numerous hours and time and money to get that pier to where it's at today. We had a bid opening yesterday for a new project to rebuild the seawall there and kind of do some final rearranging in the parking lot. And so that's a big deal there, that pier. It gives people access to the water, and that's really what it's all about, accessing our natural resources. And then if you start moving across the street, there's a piece of property there that the county is about 80% finished with a design for a new boat ramp with about 50 to 70 parking spots for boat ramps, for boats and trucks and trailers to access that water down there. Two sides of my district are bordered by water. You have the Mobile Bay on my eastern side, and you have the Mississippi Sound on the south side. And I also want to add that all of these projects in that 4 mile area, we've spent nearly $50 million in that area, and not a penny of it has come from the taxpayers of Mobile County. It's all, a majority of that money come from the BP oil spill. So we've recovered so much money there and been able to do so much with it. When you talk about the Cedar Point Pier and you talk about the Cedar Point boat ramp that's coming in the future, I'd like to thank the governor and Chris Blankenship, the director of the Conservation Natural Resources, for the Go Mesa funding that's funding all of that. That pier was purchased with that money. The boat ramp's going to be built with that money. The shoreline restoration project you're looking at now, that's a $29 million project, and you'll see the breakwaters, if you go down there, are complete. And so we're about to start with the dredge material, which Baykeepers is really happy with these kind of projects. This is beneficial use when they dredge that ship channel. That material will be going behind those breakwaters to create a natural marsh, and it'll take that shoreline back to the 1917 shoreline of South Mobile County. So it really does a lot. We have a unique ecosystem down there, and you'll find that this will help with that ecosystem, and it also helps protect that natural marsh down there, and it also protects the road, the only roadway to and from Dolphin Island. So those are just a few of the projects down there, and then you have Bayfront Park that's at the northern end of that Dolphin Island Causeway. That park will be open the first week of February. If Ben Radcliffe is here, I hope it's open by the first week of February. So we're looking forward to that. We have a pocket beach there, and it's over 3 football fields long. As you can see in the pictures, there's about 7 pavilions down there, a new playground, new office and restroom facility at that park, and we're excited about getting that park back open. And again, that park, the causeway restoration, none of this stuff costs the taxpayers of Mobile money. So I'm always excited when we can spend $50 million that doesn't cost the taxpayers anything, improve the quality of life of the people who live here in Mobile County. And so we'll move on to one of the most exciting projects that I have had is the former Linksman Golf Course. As you know, the county purchased it about 2 years ago. It's the Cypress Creek Golf Course now. We made an action to change the name of it. I'd like to tell people we're renovating that golf course, but really we're building a brand new golf course. And there was a purpose for this golf course. And what it really come down to, Bradley, was our kids here had nowhere to play golf that wasn't costing our school system and our private schools an arm and a leg. So once this course is open, there's a dedicated facility there for our kids that would have cost them nothing. They'll be able to go there and practice. They'll be able to host their tournaments at this golf course. And we're pretty excited about it. It's a Jerry Pate design. If anybody here is interested in golf, I know you've heard of Jerry Pate. Jerry Pate is often referred to as one of the top 5 golf course designers in the country. And also we have an excellent contractor there, Mid-America Golf, who is building that, along with Ben Radcliffe, who is also the low bidder on that job for the infrastructure project. So this golf course is expected to be open. I think a lot of the sculpting and things are ready. I think we'll be sprigging grass there by March, the first week of March. And then we'll be ready to open early fall on that golf course. And those are all the projects going on in the far south end of the county, and we're excited about it, or I am excited about it.
We're all excited about it. It's good for everybody.
And you know, Bradley, one more thing I'd like to add. I know the time's clicking, but you know, these things, and I know this is about business, and I know this is about the chamber, but all the things that we're talking about here today, this is what drives business in Mobile. If you don't, you know, we have several industries in this town who are looking for people to come to work here. And the first thing they're going to be looking at is what will be the quality of life for me and my family if I move to Mobile. And so that's what we're trying to improve on. So
Well,
thank you.
well said. That was great. I'm going to bring you along with me, get you to do that more often.
Yeah.
Commissioner Ludgood, let's turn to your district. I know one of your things that you've always been focused on is how can we connect people with opportunities? So tell us about what's going on in your district about that.
Well, what's happening in District 1 is happening really throughout the county. And one of the things that we want to do is promote access to the arts. We've been talking about access. Access to the arts is an important part of that. And so that includes programs like working in collaboration with the Mobile Symphony to get children who wouldn't otherwise have opportunities to learn to use string instruments. We work with the Alabama Contemporary Arts Center for artists in residence programs to nurture the emerging artists in our community. We work with Mobile Museum of Art, Mobile Museum of Art to expand on its vision for what it wants to bring to our community. And this May, we are partnered with them on a very large exhibit that they will open on May of 2025. We also work with the Mobile Arts Council, and this year, the Mobile Arts Council has been really our partner in a park that we're developing in the MLK area, the Isom-Clemens Civil Rights and Memorial Park. The Arts Council stepped in, we had statuary for that, they stepped in and became basically our agent. They did the RFP, they helped us select the statuary that will be there. And so those kind of partnerships enable the county to do the things that we don't do inside, we are able to do more when we reach outside to our partners. Similarly, we work with our municipalities in the same way. Commissioner Dueitt talked about the Go Mesa resources and the Restore resources that we have brought into the county. And it's not just been for Mobile County. We've been able to do water and sewer projects for as far north as Mount Vernon, all the way to the bayou. And that's been important, that the county was able to step up and be the fiduciary to move those projects through, because some of our smaller municipalities simply don't have the staff in-house to do these projects, but we make it available to them by being their agent in these projects. So we've been able to do that. We've been able to, with our partners, we've been able to really move the needle on our housing crisis in this community. We've worked with Restore Mobile, Habitat for Humanity, the Africatown Redevelopment Corporation, and the MLK Redevelopment Corporation. We know that we just simply don't have enough housing, attainable housing for our people. And so with these private partners, they're helping us move that forward. That's been it's those collaborations that are allowing us to make a dent in areas that we would not otherwise have been able to do.
And that's so important for all of us. But another big interest of yours has always been how do we connect our people and other people to our history and culture here. So give us a quick update on that.
So it's all about stories. When I think about it, Mobile, with as old as it is, as old as the city is, old as the county is, there are lots of stories, and it's important, I think, for people who live here to know the stories that help shape and create our community. And we've spent a lot of times making sure those stories are told. We work with our historical societies, the History Museum of Mobile, and right now in District 1, we just finished a master plan for the Civil Rights and Cultural Heritage District. But it is a part of a larger storytelling. We include the stories of Dauphin Island and the stories of the bayou. And at the Escotaba, we'll be telling that story. At Chickasaw Bowl, we'll be telling those stories. So it's not, we're trying to make this underpinning of knowing who you are, where you come from, what has created this community, what made us, what unifies us. And to help us as we try to develop our path forward.
Well, David Clark's here to visit Mobile. I know if David were sitting up here, he would say thank you, thank you, thank you. Because one of the biggest parts, fastest growing parts of tourism is cultural tourism. And as you develop these things, you're developing amenities that people will come here from all over the world, literally all over the world, to see and enjoy. So that's quite a report on the county. So help me in thanking these three great leaders for this area.